Okay, what I'm wondering, hello, hello. Let me see, maybe. I'll put this. Maybe I'll put this away. Forgot to grab my notes. I don't know, I said that I would do this at 2 o'clock. I don't know if anyone is watching. So I'll just sit here and make art. We'll come back to this later. Because the first part of this is, I don't know if anyone can hear me. I don't know who's watching, if any. But I have some things I want to do. I have not finished this. I was thinking about doing that. I do want to fill in a few things. But I also printed up some of these because I think I want to, is that right? California poppy. I think I want to do a spread here for the California poppy. I need something to kind of so if you want to join me, you certainly are welcome to. This is that little book of genus loci that I started. If there is someone here and watching, would you do me a favor and just give me a thumbs up or something in the chat so that I know you can hear me? I have my, this may be weird. Oop. Hang on. See, I have that on iPad. So I have it turned down so I don't hear anything. So I don't hear an echo. Anyway, so I'm doing this, the book of genus loci. So far, not a whole lot. I haven't finished this. This is going to be a little map of one of my favorite areas. I'm going to do several of these. Lots of different places that I go to. Oh, and let's do, to get in the mood, ancestor calling. I do like to invite the ancestors to come a little closer while I'm doing this artwork. I like to invite them to speak to me. I don't know how to say that without sounding strange, but you know, let's face it, I am strange. I do love the smell of that. And let's light an incense stick. This is from that last moon, witch's moon box I got. The Egyptian essence smells great. The question is, do I have a lighter here? Let me see. Yes. And if you're one of the one or two watching, would you just pop a thumbs up or something in the chat to let me know that you can hear me okay? I have been having a devil of a time, a trickster of a time, getting my audio to work on anything. And I've invested in a couple of different microphones, but I don't know if that's going to work. But I don't know. I'm still trying. You would think I'd be better at this kind of thing. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to actually add those lines in later. I thought I would start a new page. And it's going to be this page. I think I have some scrap paper here. Maybe not. Still have to do an expense report, and I think that was part of it. Hang on. Do I not have scrap paper? See. Ooh, I do. Eight minutes and I haven't done a damn thing but play around on my desk. So, y'all, I spent a fortune on this ritual planner. Didn't even use it. I've just been, oh my God, 2023 was rough. I'm hoping it's going to get better. And again, you know, I think I said on my last live that was the thing. I need to reestablish my practices that I let go of as I was getting used to this new job, entering back into the working world, right? My spiritual practice, my art practice, a lot of that went by the wayside, and I am trying to reclaim that. So I think you know my little trick. Take that. I'm going to do a page on the California poppy. Essentially, I've just printed out, you know, titles for pages that I want to create. These are all things that I guess I could say speak to me as part of the genus loci. I like to try to keep it neat. So I use, and I think I've shown you this before, graphite paper. I just print out, usually in Canva, the words in the font that I like. And then I just put it on, use some graphite paper and trace it on where I want it. So that's what I'm going to do. Should have had this ready. Using a little washi tape to hold it down. I really am not sure how the volume is on this. No one's let me know that they can hear me, and people have come and gone, so it's possible that there's literally no sound. And it's possible that nobody wants to chat. So whatever. Whatever. Okay. So once I have that down, I usually like to use a sharp pencil. I've used a pokey tool. I need something fairly fine. This will work. I just need to be able to try to do a clean little tracing of that. And I usually need these. Okay. So, if you like your handwriting, use it. I mean, I think what happens is, for me, in the past, is that sometimes I get hung up on, oh, it's got to look perfect, or I'm afraid to, mess it up, right? Well, if there's one thing art has taught me, it's that for the most part, this stuff can be fixed if there's an issue. Like, I can just paint over it. I use gouache. I can paint over it with acrylic if I don't like it. Sometimes I don't mind having a mistake. But I also really like things to look a certain way as well. And, it, I think, looks pretty neat when you have little titles. So that's what I do. Your mileage may vary. And see, you can't even see it that well, right? Then I just take that off, move that over. I don't even need this one. Have a little water. Let's see. I think I've been using black for the lettering. That's a Prussian blue, which I absolutely love this blue. By the way, it's one of my favorites. I am going to get to drawing a poppy. Okay. Burnt umber. Ivory black. So, I'm just going to make a little bit of fairly watery black paint using gouache. I'm going to take my teeny tiny brush, mix it up a little, and I'm going to take off the excess. So this can be quite relaxing, right? I don't know. What time is it where you are? Here in Napa, it is 2:19. I typically work East Coast hours because my company is on the East Coast. And that means I get up early and start working super early in the morning. And the good news is I'm done by usually late afternoonish or sometimes this time of the day. And I try, or at least I have been, trying to go for a walk in the mornings when it's a lot cooler. Not that I can complain. I know that I have friends and family that have really been through it this summer with the heat. My sister lives in Tennessee, and I know that it's been really hot there this summer. It has been quite lovely here, but I'm really looking forward to spooky season. I think, like most witches, it's my favorite time of the year. Do you see what I did there? That R and that N. Gosh, excuse me. Oh well. I'm not even going to try to fix it. I'm just going to leave it. Excuse me. Hi, Megan. Let's see. What did you say? This is my first live. Happy to be here. I am in the South. I am south of you. Oh, God, I love the city. Hey, girl. Taking a break from my work day to watch your video. Oh, great. So, Megan, you should have a beautiful view of the blue supermoon on Thursday. Where I am, just the way my building is laid out, you know, the place where I live, I don't see the moon usually out a window. And I usually go to bed fairly early during the week, just because, like I said, I work East Coast hours, so I'm up at the crack of dawn. But I am going to make sure that I go out, and I hope it's not overcast on Thursday. My coven is having a meeting, of course, on Thursday. And I'm going to talk about what my plans are for the blue moon. But I did want to get in at least one of these Book of the Genus Loci. And of course, this is tailored to me, to where I live, to my location. And if you're making something like that, I think you should as well. You know, if you, dear subscriber, are living in, you know, the other side of the world, California poppy may not go into your Book of Genus Loci, right? But what flower would, you know? Would a flower even go in it, right? I mean, for me, it does. I'm going to let that dry for just a second. So, yeah, let's watch paint dry for a minute. Let's see if I've got a pencil. Because I am going to try to sketch out. Now, I hate to sketch. Maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I should just sketch it out on a piece of paper and then transfer it over here. You know what? I think I will, because I am not, and that can be drying while I'm doing that. Let's see. I bet I have a piece of paper in here. I do. Yay. Okay. Now we're thinking. Move this stuff. Hey, Megan. Yes, very excited. Yeah, you should have a great view from the city. It was beautiful last night. I went and was walking the dog and looked up, and it was gorgeous. Now, here's something you could do. Like, I have a ton of pictures of poppies. I did a video about poppies on another channel, so you might not see it here, but I have a ton of pictures of poppies. So often what I'll do is just use one of those pictures, print it off, and then I can transfer it using transfer paper. I'm just going to draw this. I mean, you could trace stuff. This is not, we're not selling these books. I mean, I would hope you aren't. This is for your personal use. So I don't think copyright applies. I mean, I'm not a lawyer, so don't take my advice. But I'm not making any money off this, and I'm not trying to say that this is my work. I'm just going to do the best I can to copy that. And I am going to try to use a pencil. What is that? Here's one. I think I have a sharpener. Yes. Ooh. I must have I thought I had a mechanical pencil in here. I wonder. I have some really good ones. I wonder where they got to. Oh well. So whatever the flower you're doing. Let's see. Oh, girl. Megan, I used to work for a company that was based out of Brussels. We had offices in Belgium, in Spain, in, well, I mean, we went to Madrid. That is a hard schedule because what time is it there now? Like 10:30 at night, 11 o'clock at night? Yeah. Yes. And when I was working for that company, I was on the East Coast. So let's see. What I think what I want to do is do a few little flowers on this side, and then maybe do a big flower like that here, and then something like that here. So just to keep myself from, this is about the scale. So maybe what I'll do, and that's half a sheet of paper. So essentially, right? And I was saying I want to do something like this. So, you know, just, I would just try to do shapes, you know. If you're just trying to copy something, it's just about shapes. You can go in and refine it. That shape comes down there. And often, if you just keep your eye on, this may be too far in there, but let's see. And then let's do, just try to look at the image that you're drawing. Try to just pick out the big shapes on it. And then you can go back in and sort of refine it. I mean, is this an exact copy? No. Do I want it to be? No. But it could look similar. And it would have been a lot faster if I'd have just taken one of my pictures and done the same thing, but I did not. And I think that's close enough. Good enough. And then I want to do this one here. So essentially, you know, this kind of, and I know I'm drawing it sideways, this kind of reminds me of a heart shape. And then it's got kind of like a boat shape or something like that. I mean, look, it really isn't about like, oh, is it good? This is for you, you know? And practice definitely makes perfect, but I don't know that we have to go for perfection. I think when we do, we kind of lose our own sort of signature of that, you know, our own style and personality. So I think it's okay for things to not look absolutely perfect. And I think it's the body of work that ends up being something that I've often been pleased with. Proud of, I don't know, that may be too strong, but pleased with for sure. I kind of want to do this flower here, which is just a little, it's almost like an upside down bell shape, right? I'm going to make it a little big, and it's going to be right there in the corner. This, I might even want it to be bigger. And then, yeah. And that's weird. Okay, hang on. Yeah, maybe something like that. See, I'm getting all finicky with it, right? Whatever. It's fine. Okay. Yeah. This incense smells so good. This is perfect timing. I'm doing my very first herbal grimoire right now, and I'm attempting very basic drawings of herbs and flowers I'm working with. So, you know what? Yes. Honestly, it's all about the layers. This is a really good, I love this book by Isa Down, Inking Florals. I just really love how she shows you, and here, so for example, California Poppy, step by step, right? Where you can add more and more bits to it. So I have a few books like this. God, these are beautiful. I absolutely love watercolor and ink together. I think it's so delicate and pretty and so illustratory, which is probably not even a word. But yeah, I really like that. All right, so we have like the words right here, right? I feel like I want to do one more right here, and maybe it's just this little bud. Like I almost feel like it could be like that. So, boop. sort of this number. Yeah, I mean, Megan, I think definitely it's really, once you have your little herbal grimoire, like once I have this fairly filled out, then I'll go back in and I'll write in notes all around it, use specific notes like why did I specifically put these symbols for these native lands in here? And I will make little notes because that's part of the magic. Often it's part of the spell. Often it's part of the invitation for me. So, hi. Is it Celia Grand? Oh, thank you. Thank you, thank you. Let's see. Let me cut all this paper around it. So this is my little, cheat, right? And only because this paper, when you erase on it, it takes off the fibers of the paper. So it looks terrible. It looks terrible. I hate it. So I try to make it look good. I mean, I'm not all just like that, just throwing stuff in there willy-nilly. I don't feel that confident in my art skills. As soon as I do this, I'm going to show you all the stuff I'm going to prepare for my Thursday night ritual. So I've been looking at, oh, perfect. Look at that. So essentially, I'm doing work leading up to a big manifestation spell at Samhain. And before I do that, in this season, is this the season of orphan dreams? I think it might be. In this season, I am looking at what that spell is going to be. What is it I want? What is that big vision? And then I'm looking at, and often as I craft that vision, I'm pulling symbols from my environment, my dreams. I'm heavily into looking at my dreams right now. Those symbols. I've been keeping a dream journal just to be on top of that. Trying to make connections. What do those things mean to me? Even if I don't remember the entire dream, when I wake up, I try to think of, are there 3 or 4 symbols that I remember from that dream? And then I try to delve down into that. Is there something else I remember attached to that symbol, right? And delve into that. So that these things, like, have you ever thought about looking at even the clothing that you're wearing, that you wear on a day-to-day basis? What symbols do you surround yourself with? What in your environment, if you look at it from a mythic perspective, what are those symbols? I mean, do you feel me? What are those things? I was changing the ink, so sorry, you guys. I got ink all over my thumb, an ink cartridge. And sometimes those things can help me develop that big vision. Now, here in this season, I'm starting to think of what are the beliefs that I have, that I hold about that vision that are blocks. What is going to keep me from achieving that vision? What are those limiting beliefs? So for Thursday, for the full moon, I'm actually, and often people will do like binding and protection at the new moon, right? This is a really potent time. I'm happy to do it during this super blue full moon. So I'll show you how I'm going to bind those limiting beliefs. Oh, Megan, yes, I missed the very first part of your life. Can you tell me? Yes, okay. So this little book is, I'm making, and it's basically a grimoire. You know, I call it a grimoire, but this is the Book of Genus Loci. And it's all about how I connect to the spirit of the location. One thing I love about California, well, I love California. I'm so bonded to this area. So it's all my favorite places. It's all of the locations, the spirit of the land that I connect with. I want to put in this book, very simply. So I've started a few pages, just a few. And for example, I'll be doing a few maps of like my favorite areas to often connect with genus loci. This one is the wetlands in Napa County. It's a map, you know, to the wetlands. So I want to have that. I'm going to put in like, I love Bate State Park, all the redwoods up there. So I'm probably going to do a map of that area. Mount Tam, you know, just any location. I'll probably do something like that. And then also what I connect with. When I first moved out here, I mean, I would see California poppies growing on the roadside. Well, I used to come visit all the time. Don't get me wrong. I was in California, in this area, the Bay Area, at least twice a year since I was a kid. I mean, I have a picture of me when I'm like 5 or 6 on a cable car. But when I finally moved out here in 2020, you know, I'm driving through here and I just see these beautiful California poppies just growing up on the side of the road like weeds everywhere. Fields of them. And they're just gorgeous, and they gave me so much hope and beauty and connection. It just is a symbol to me of the genus loci, and they speak to me about, you know, beauty and hope, and just, you know, we all just want to come up out of the dirt and turn our face to the sun, right? So that's what this is. And these little books I got on Amazon. Now I have a bigger Book of Shadows that I started this channel with, making this. And this is the same book, it's just bigger and a different color. And you can see a video where I put together the beginning of this book. For instance, I used invisible ink on here to enchant this book and put a spell on it. I have my magical name written in invisible ink and runes and sigils all over these pages. And then here we are back around the wheel to the season of Orphan Dreams in September. And I just started creating these pages. Now here's where I'm talking about how to bind limiting beliefs. This is a seasonal practice. So yeah, that's what this is. That's what I'm getting ready to do as I build up to that big spell at Samhain. So, and one thing I do, I think I just threw that in my paint, is I cheat. Yes, I do. I mean, some would call it cheating. I don't know. I don't really care. I just want to get it in my book. I've got paint on this end. I just use graphite paper. The thing about this, graphite paper is it gets all over the pages anyway. So it's kind of, you know, be careful sort of what you wish for with it. Can I fit this on this piece? Yes, I can. So I like to trim away a lot of the excess because it will definitely just smear all over the paper. You have to be fairly careful in the tracing. But again, once you get the paint on the page, it just kind of is okay. So if you're not a drawer, or you just don't want to, I mean, you don't have to. There's programs out there. And, you know, as long as you're not selling it and plagiarizing and pretending like it's yours, if it's just for personal use, yeah, you're fine. Just copy it or cut it out of a magazine and slap it into your book. That's the way I feel about it. I'm just reading your comments. Yeah. Yeah, they're really, I think they're absolutely beautiful, these flowers. And, you know, everybody's got a flower that grows near them. I mean, some of the things on my list that I'm going to put in my book, right? They're crows. I mean, they're everywhere, right? Wine, grapes, dragonflies, hawk, raven, hummingbird, for crying out loud. Are those specific to California? Some things may be, but, you know, some may not. I've interacted with all of these things here while I'm here, so I'm just going to tape this down and quickly. How long are we going? Is this becoming long? It seems like it is. I don't know. You know, I always go back and forth about how long can I do this stuff for. YouTube can get kind of mad if you go on, and God knows I do. All right, this time I'm going to use a pen. I'm just going to trace. I'm just going to try to get in the lines that I did. They'll be a little bit wonky, but it's okay. I'm trying not to be too precious about it. Sometime in the future, I would like to figure out how to just have some music playing, and maybe it's just more of an ASMR kind of video where we're just painting together, you know? Because if I'm being all chatty, chances are I'm not paying very much attention, or as much attention as I can. What's that? I kind of feel like, I don't even think this is on the graphite paper. Okay. All right. Hey, it came out pretty good. Let me fill it in. What did that look like? I think it was, I think that went up there, like that. This was like that. I just want to fill in any lines. Okay. Lovely. Get that stuff out of the way. What happened to my book? So in this inking florals for the poppies, she does add all of these little numbers, and she does make the lines a little bit thicker, so maybe I should do that. Right? Just gonna again, trying not to be too precious. Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, look. See? Just adding on, making sure. Okay. Let's paint. I love gouache. I love working with it. I know I have a little, thought I had, yeah, here it is. So gouache is basically watercolor. It's just not as transparent, right? So you could make gouache with watercolor by, I think some people add white. I don't know. I just like buying these little tiny tubes because I don't like I don't like to spend a lot of money and then have it dry out before I can even use it. I'm just pulling out all my reds and yellows. I'll probably need some greens at some point, so I'll pull them out. What is that? Oh, burn umber. And this is Holbein gouache. There's a lot of great brands out there, and they're not expensive. Oh, thank you, Megan. I'm glad you're following along. I think I'm going to use this permanent deep. Hey, girl. Hey, Candy. I know it's late for you. I'm just to catch up, I'm just playing in this, kind of talking about what I'm going to do on Thursday night for our blue full moon. I'm going to, if I don't take too long painting this, I'm going to talk about like what I'm going to do with these sticks. These are from an olive tree on the family property where an olive, I mean, I think is an ancient wood, but not particularly Celtic, right? Not that it has to be at all. But I often like to use wood from the Ogham. But at any rate, I'm going to use these to bind my limiting beliefs. And I'll talk about that later. Let's see. Let's just get some paint on here. I like this permanent yellow deep. Oh my gosh, these books are amazing, and they're cheap. They're on Amazon. I think I may have paid $20 for this. It's got a beautiful cover, and the paper is almost like cloth. It's so soft and so nice. Ooh, that's a blue yellow, isn't it? Which I don't mind. I don't think I need carmine. but maybe this flame red, maybe this yellow. I do love a yellow ochre, although that can be a little green for me, but I could use it. And this flame red, maybe a touch. Wow, it wanted to come out. You guys, this, though, I do need to change the water because I'm going to use it. So give me just a second. Let me just dump it out. Okay. Just wanted to grab some fresh water. And I'm just going to add a few drops to my little palette. Oh, here it is. Oh, sorry. Okay, let's see. Can I get enough water in there? This is probably going to be too small. Let's see. Candy. Candy. I know you're an artist, so you might like my watercolor brushes. Look at these. I've got some, although I don't really want to use those with the gouache. I will use these Student Da Vinci's with it. It's not in very good shape because I love it. So this paper takes color pretty well. Wow, look at that. Wow, look at that. Oh, wow. I don't know. Oh, girl. Yes. I did clean up. I did finally get mine cleaned up, and then I said, let me make something in my book of shadows. So now it's a mess. But listen, is today Monday? No, it's Tuesday, right? Yeah, thank God it's Tuesday. It has already been such a long week. And I use art to de-stress. I really, really do. One of my favorite things to do is just be creative. And I think I do a fairly good job of not being my own worst critic. I really do. I mean, I think I do a fairly decent job. I'm just going to put some color on here and see what happens. The thing about this paper, it does soak in fairly quickly, and it can definitely be kind of hard to blend. I think I'm going to use this cool white as kind of highlights. So I think I want to get them. That would be too dark. Just get them in there. I don't know. think I'm not going to be happy with that tall one. Let's see. Maybe I'll go a little bit darker. Oh my God, Candy. I want to show you something. Guys, I'm so sorry, but I do have to show Candy this. Can you see this? It's a Barbie artist station thing. I also got the one that you got. It hasn't arrived. But yes, Barbie artist. We have to talk about that sometime. Ooh, that orange looks pretty good, right? What do y'all think? My little brush is not too happy about it, it seems. I mean, why did I do that? Oh, it'll blend in. It'll be okay. I'll leave that as it is right now. Girl, I know I'm going to do a whole artist studio. What's funny is it's got this, like, I don't know, Play-Doh sculpt air clay or something in it that you can use to actually create little sculptures. So I saw it on, I did see one, a used one on Amazon, but it was like, I want to say like $60. And I got that one on eBay for, I want to say, free shipping, and it was like $20. So a third of the price. Keep grabbing that bright yellow. There we go. So I snapped it up. I was looking for that other one, which I did find, and I saw this one. They have quite a few, in fact. What's really interesting is this one, they say, is part of the self-care play line, which is kind of interesting to me, that they have a Barbie artist touting art as self-care, because I totally believe in that. I mean, I totally believe that. Art is self-care. We need to build our dolls art studios. Yes, we do. So we have channels about dolls. I mean, you know, let's face it, dolls. And if you're interested, come check it out. You know, is what I can tell you. It's an interesting community. I don't know. All right, let me see. Oh, we haven't even done this. And I love ochre. Although I'd probably not be happy if I put it there, right? Nah, that's not what I wanted. See, you guys, you can make a mistake and it's okay. We can fix that. Just throw some paint in there. All right. This is just the first layer anyway. Many layers, many layers. But you get the idea, right? I mean, you're just playing around. You're making something that you enjoy. I I think I put some of this in here. Yeah, oh yeah, it's gouache. Yeah, you know what? This is the Holbein. I love these. I like them this small because, you know, they're not that expensive, relatively speaking. But, and also, if it dries out, you know, before I use it, I don't feel so bad. I used to buy like these huge, big tubes, and sometimes I'm not an everyday artist. I mean, I was for a while, back when I had my art studio in Cincinnati. I was an everyday artist. I will say I am an everyday creative, but yeah, I, I need to get back to it, honestly. I've been stressed way too much over this job. And I think I've bitched about my job here before. And it's not so much the job. I mean, it's the job. But I think it would be this way with any job. Like, I think I've said, you know, what was that song? I don't want to play. I don't want to work. I just want to bang on the drum all day. Yeah, that's me. This I'm going to play with. But sometimes it's helpful, especially with gouache. Now, I don't like to do a ton of layers of gouache because it can crack if you get it too thick. So I like to do a few very thin layers of gouache if you're, you know, if you're curious about working with it. But it's really easy to work with. I think for me, it's easier to blend than, say, watercolor. For me is a little bit more difficult to blend, just getting the water and the consistency right. Although I find watercolor to be quite fun. I mean, I enjoy it, and I take, when I go, you know, into the wild, I like to take watercolors with me because they're so easy. They travel so well. You don't have to, I mean, all you need is a little thing of water and something to paint on and some paper towels. And look at that palette. And you can, you know, this can dry and you can reactivate it and use it. So often, you know, it takes a little tiny bit of paint. I'm going to do these little stems real quick. And then I would, hi Maria. And then I want to show you how I'm going to prepare my limiting beliefs for my full moon ritual. Look, you guys, this is dry. Darn it. Bummer. I'm still going to use it, but bummer. Did I use permanent green or emerald green? Wow, that one's kind of dry too. You know, if you don't get those lids on tight. Oh, look, I have a little water I saved. Clean water. Okay, that's probably enough. I've got these Da Vinci brushes. These work pretty well. I like this one. It's number 2. I think that's the emerald. This is the permanent. And if I can get this to work. Yeah, I mean, I have said we could do an ASMR if I could ever figure out how to play music, or I could just shut the hell up and you could turn on music wherever you are, or you could turn down the volume and turn on music wherever you are. I used to subscribe to an artist who would do that. She would just do live videos, and she would just not talk. And it would just be the sounds. Ooh, did you see that? That's what I love about watercolor and gouache when it gets all runny like that. I'm going to add these darker greens. I just want to get the light down. And like I said, once these pages are dry and I'm happy with the illustration, I will go back and write in my notes, maybe how I've used these ingredients in a spell, or the energies in a spell, or how the energies have affected me, how I've communicated with them, or they've communicated with me. So, I just put water in that. If I touch it with this, it's going to run. You see? I just can add it. It's kind of light. That's the emerald, yeah. What if we added a little of the dark? Hey, I'm glad to know that, Candy. Yes. Yes, it is, Megan. Doesn't she make amazing, amazing videos? Oh my God. I talk about her all the time. I love, love, love. I've even shared her videos with my boyfriend, and he's just like, oh, she's a poet. I'm like, yes, she is a poet. Wait a minute. Where did this one? This one goes here. Ta-da. Let's get... Okay. And then, while we watch paint dry, we can have a little chat. Look, I could sit here and play like this all day with these. It is, I mean, for me, it is relaxing to paint, especially when you take the pressure off yourself to produce a masterpiece or something perfect or whatever. If I can just allow myself to sort of sink in to just like how beautiful it is when these colors combine, right? I want the flowers to dry quite a bit because I'm going to do another layer. And then after I've got all the color on, I'm going to take a pen and I'm going to go in and outline it. And then after it's completely dry, I'll probably use some kind of pencil or you know, sometimes it's just another pen, a different color, that I'll write in notes all around it. So that is this page. Oh, and the incense is done, so I can stack some of this up. I'm trying to make some room so I can show you some stuff for the limiting beliefs. So like I said, I'm crafting this big manifestation spell, and some of the tools in my practice I'm going to share with you. I travel quite a bit for work, and sometimes I do some house sitting or something like that. And so this little box has some of the energies of the season that have spoken to me. I found this, let's see where I can lay this. I found this marble literally on my doorstep the other day. And the thing is, my grandfather collected marbles, and I have a jar of my grandfather's marbles here. So I definitely took this as a message from him. So of course I picked that up and put it in here. Some of these things only have meaning for me and for my coven, my witchcraft. This was a hag stone my mom had that I found when I was cleaning out her house, and I know she would have wanted me to have it. It kind of reminds me of the Scream, right? But yeah, a hag stone, so some pinion. I have some of my teaching stones, and often they look just very plain, normal, weird. And what we do, girl, sister from another mister. I have a whole jar of my grandfather's marbles around here, and I just love them. I love them. So one thing I do is I may have a teacher stone, and this is a practice that was passed down to me by Danielle Dulski, and I may have a teacher stone for that season, and then I'll bury it a few days before, usually the new moon, and I'll unbury it at the new moon, and I'll scry into it to see what I must see, to know what I must know. What can this stone teach me? And often it's just a plain old stone, right? I know, sounds weird. It's just one of those little things that we do. So yeah, this is just a little box of stuff. I got this box actually from Flying Monkey Totes. It's the only subscription box from them I bought. This is a deck that I will be using this year to create my own oracle. Examining, look, it looks like the back of a classic Rider-Waite-Smith, right? And they're just blank. I will be putting a sigil for the season on here, and then I will be putting some symbols, writing out some symbols that hold meaning for me, from stories that I am working with, from myths that I am working with, from dreams that I am living and having. So that's just a tool that I will be creating, and it may be quite large by the end of the year, or by the full year. For the limiting beliefs, think I showed you this page. Right, Megan? For sure. So like I said from last year, so limiting beliefs, the altar of dismembered beliefs. And that is what I'm going to make. This is going to be a practice that will last me, well, you know, depending on how many beliefs you have, right? And you create the numbers. You decide what numbers. You don't have to do this, or you can if you want to. So once you have your big vision, once you have your spell that you're going to manifest, and maybe it's something as simple as, I want to be nicer to myself. I want to stop being so stressed. I want to stop taking work so seriously. You know? And if that is it, that is the spell that I'm going to cast, which seems kind of weird, right? I'm not doing like, and you know, I don't care if you want to do, I want to make $1 million next year. What? That's you. I can barely come up with my own spell, right? Once you have that vision, take a look at it and see what's holding you back. What do you believe? What do you really, really believe that is going to keep you from manifesting that vision? So if you can't, you know, is it one? Is there just one belief? Is there two? Are there three? Are there seven? What are there? Now, what I want to do, once I have that belief, so if it's, I want to be kinder to myself. Oh, thank you, Candy. You are too. If I want to be kinder to myself, what is a belief that I hold that says I can't do that? Is the belief, you know, an old dog can't learn new tricks? I'm too old to change my ways. That's just how I am. I'm just a negative person. I believe that if I'm too positive or too nice, then I'm going to be taken advantage of. What are those beliefs? And if you come up with them, 1, 2, 3. I came up with 3. Then I want you to write the opposite of that belief. The opposite? Or turn that belief into an affirmation. So if it's, this is just who I am. If that's, for example, one of my beliefs. That's just who I am. Can't change. I've been that way all my life. I've been mean to myself. I'm my own worst enemy. Everybody is their own worst enemy. Well, is that it? That sounds like a good one. Let me just... So if my manifestation spell, essentially, this vision, and hold that vision. Find that vision and see yourself. Strike those poses. If my vision is to be kinder, more positive, less stressed. Okay? And my limiting belief is, what did I say? That's just the way I've always been. How about a tiger can't change their stripes? Okay. how can I make that the opposite of that? How can I make this a belief that is not limiting, that would embolden me? You know what? In fact, I have changed my, or how about some behaviors in the past. I have changed for the better. Right? So, then if I pick 3 beliefs, I'm going to write those limiting beliefs down on a sheet of paper. This is just some parchment paper. I'm going to say, I have changed some behaviors in the past. In ritual, I'm going to take some twine. Now look, you could do this on anything natural. I'm going to burn these, is what's going to end up happening. I'm going to burn these at some point. And in the ritual I'm doing on Thursday, what I'm going to do is wrap this around here. And in ritual, as part of that spell work in the ritual, I'm going to bind that belief to this stick. And I'm going to chant, I bind the belief that, whatever that belief is, that can't, I don't even know, what did I say last year? Let me see. I think I said, I bind the belief that, right, I have changed some, that I can't, well, actually, I didn't write the limiting belief. I wrote the good thing. A tiger can't change their stripes. Or I bind the belief that that's just the way I've always been. This belief will no longer cause harm to me, my people, or the world. I am free of this. Okay? I'm going to chant that as I wrap the belief around this branch with this twine, all the way from one tip to the next. And these are just branches I've picked up off the ground. Like I said, it was on my property. You know, I'm always a fan of asking permission. I wouldn't take things that are on other people's property. Just be careful how you pick up stuff and how you take stuff. I would never like pull this off a tree. Okay. And in fact, you know, really, because like I said, I'm going to burn it later. I want them to be dry so that they burn. So that will be what I'm doing Thursday night. I'm going to bind those limiting beliefs. And then I'm going to work with that belief. So I have 3, if you had 1, for 7 days. And I'm going to look each day, I'm going to stand at my altar and look at that bound belief. And I'm going to look for evidence in my life that the opposite is true. That I have changed some behaviors in my past. You know what? I have changed. I am no longer whatever. You know, whatever that belief is that you're trying to change. Look for evidence every day for 7 days. And maybe you write it down in your grimoire, your working magical notebook. Write down that proof. And then at the next full moon, I'm going to, or maybe it's the new moon. I'll have to think about it. We're going to burn those sticks, those beliefs. I'm going to release them. And then I'm going to scatter the cold ashes. Maybe I'll even bury the cold ashes in the 4 directions. It's just a little step on my blue moon ritual. Just a little step. I don't know. What do you think? I know this is a long one. It's been at least an hour. I probably need to let you all go and have a great day. I just wanted to pop on, do a little bit of art, talk about the full moon. I was really thinking I could do, you know, a grimoire page or this book of Genus Loci page, at least a couple times a month, you know. So if you like this kind of video, or if you like it live like this, where we can just kind of paint along and chat, then I would love it if you would join me. Just let me know. I could just make a more formal video of just making these pages, and then just share with you something more completed. But I think that's what happened and why I kind of got derailed last year. I just got so busy, you know, with this new job that it was like, and frankly, it can be, with the Book of Shadows, it can be so personal, right? Like, some of that stuff you don't want to share with strangers on the internet, you know, stranger danger kind of thing. I mean, there's a lot of scammers out there, right? So, you know, you get nervous about what you can share. But I mean, this kind of thing, the Genus Loci, I mean, these are just places and things that I love in and around the Northern California Bay Area. And yeah, so yeah, I'm just, you know, I thought it'd be something fun that we could do together. At any rate, I hope you have a great rest of your night, day, morning, a great rest of your week. I hope you have a blessed and magical full moon. And I'll see you very, very soon. I will make a formal video. So thank you guys for stopping by. Thank you for chatting. I hope you have a great night, Megan and Candy. I think Maria was here, and Scylla Grand. I hope I'm saying that right. Hope you all have a great night. Sending you much love. Bye. See you later. If I can figure out how to turn it off. Maybe I can't. I'll have to edit this part.